Alright, so I'm going to talk about how to make more money being a cargo van business, right? I've been in this business for about 6 months now. I started in January of 2026. We're in June of 2026. And I'm just going to give you my experience. You know what I'm saying? When you first start out, it's going to be the hardest first starting out. Your first year is always going to be the hardest year because you're going to have to struggle. But after a year, you should be good. After the second and third year, it should be easy money, easy cash. It should be smooth. But your first year is going to be the hardest. So I'm just going to give you games, tips, tricks, and stuff to do to make more money with a cargo van. And when you first start out, you're gonna have to you get your cargo van, get the insurance. You don't need an ELD and you don't need to go to weigh stations because you're under 10,000 pounds, so they don't require you to have those. You don't got to be like a trucker. You don't got to get an electronic logging device or go to weigh stations. You can just run all day if you want to. You're gonna have to use a lot of gig apps and you're gonna have to use a lot of third-party carriers. And as you're doing that, you're going to want to go get your MC, your Motor Carrier Authority, your DOT number, as soon as possible. A lot of people ask, what is your MC, what is your DOT, what is that? That is like the certificate or the approval to allow you to take loads from state to state. It's called your MC number and your DOT number. Once you get, it costs about $300 for your MC. Once you get your MC, you can basically go and take loads from state to state without having any issue with the law, you know what I'm saying? So what you go to the fmcsa.gov, apply for it online at their website. It costs about $300 and just fill in your information. And it takes about 30 days for it to get approved. Once it gets approved, you can basically take loads from state to state and all that. So once they approve it, you got your MC, but a lot of brokers require your MC to be 6 months or 1 year before they can give you loads. So you're gonna have to wait 6 months or 1 year before you can start booking your own loads. There's some brokers that will work with you when you have a fresh new MC like TQL and like CH Robinson, but majority of brokers will deny you for loads, especially if you don't have that 6 months. 6 months to 1 year is like the warm spot, like the sweet spot to start booking your own loads. But as you're getting there, it just comes with time. You just got to get your MC and wait 6 months, and then it's going to be 6 months and you're good to go. But as you're getting there, you're going to have to work with a lot of third-party carriers and a lot of gig apps. Third-party carriers are people that have been in the game for like years, and they have their MC old as hell, and they're able to get loads, and then they give you loads. They book loads for you, but they take a crazy cut, a crazy percentage, and give you the rest. Or they have you bid low and have like this bidding system where they have you basically ask for a lower amount of money for the load so they can eat a lot. Or they will say, oh, we can't get this load unless you bid low, or the broker's not going to give us this load because there's other drivers and you're bidding. So yeah, these third-party carriers, they make money off of you. They get you the load, and like for example, they would say a broker would give them a load going 500 miles for $500, right? They already have the load, they know, but they want you to bid it for like 200 or 250 or 300. Or for example, a load going 1,500 miles. They will get the load for 1,500 miles, charge the broker $1 rate per mile, and then have you get the load for like $1,000 or $900, just so they can eat their cut and have you doing all the hard work and eating a crazy cut. You know what I'm saying? So they might get like $250 off of you or $300 off of you and have you do the rest. You know what I'm saying? I stopped working with third-party carriers just because of that. Because I had a load like that. They tried to eat crazy off of me, had me bid very low on the load. I wasn't paying shit. And they had me bid low. I was supposed to go from Utah to Texas, which was about 1,500 miles. They asked the broker for $1,500, and they had me take the load for $1,000 and take a whole $500 from me. And I wasn't going for the so it ended up being a problem. We ended up splitting. I stopped working with them, stopped with them, but that's what they do. You feel me? So you gotta be very, very careful with these third-party carriers. You might as well get your MC and then figure out a way how you can make money without these third parties, or thug it out with them for 6 months to a year, and then you can start doing your own loads and getting good rates, because they give bad rates also. They give rates for like 90 cents, 80 cents, 70 cents per mile when you're supposed to be getting paid $1.50 and more per mile. So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta watch out for these third-party carriers. That's what they do. Or use gig apps. There's a lot of gig apps out there like Curry, like Roadie, like Dispatch, like Sunpex, like TaskRabbit, and a lot of gig apps out there for you to work and, you know what I'm saying, do your thing. So you can use gig apps to, you know, do your thing and stay local in the meantime while you get into like your 6 months authority, and then you should be good after 6 months. That's like a sweet spot where you won't get denied for loads. So that's how it's gonna go most of the time. Majority of the time, it's gonna work just like that. So I'm gonna just give you from my experience. What I decided to do was, once I figured these third parties were stealing a lot of money from me and stuff, and I wasn't with them, I decided to use the gig apps and stay local for 6 months. And after 6 months, I'm going back over the road because I started over the road in January. I did over the road for about 3 months, and I averaged on about 14,000 a month, 13,000 a month, 15,000 a month. You know, between there, 12. I'll on a slow month it'll be about 12, 11,000, but I'll be about 14, 15 on average. But I decided, since these third party carriers, and this was me working with third party carriers, you will make your money if you know how to be smart about it. Like the way I was doing, I'm gonna give you from my experience. I was getting a lot of partial loads. So what happened is I'll get a load from one third party carrier, book it, and look for another load going to the same area with another third-party carrier and book that load too. I had 2 loads going to Florida. One was going to Orlando, and one was going to Lakeland, Florida, and it was from 2 different carriers. And one was paying $1,800 and one was paying $1,400, going to the same area. It was about 2 hours apart, or an hour apart, an hour 30 apart. And instead of getting paid $1,800 going to Florida for one load, I got paid $3,200 going to Florida for 2 different loads within the same area. That's how you make your money. And that's what I was doing to make my money. You know, one carrier will pay low and another will pay low, but you add those together, you're still making your money at the end of the day. That's a way to do it. But it's not going to happen to you every time. You're not going to have 2 loads going to the same area every time. It's going to be different. So you got to be smart and know how to do it. But instead of dealing with the from these third-party carriers, I decided to just stay local and use gig apps to make my money until 6 months. And once 6 months comes, then I'm going back over the road and booking my own loads and make money that way instead of having to depend on third-party carriers. Now, how you book your loads is you go on datloadboard.com, and it's about $180 a month, and you pay that fee. And every morning around 8 o'clock in the morning, all the brokers, official brokers, not third-party carriers, post their loads within your area at 8 a.m. And by 8 a.m., you just go on the load board and look within your area what's popping. Loads are going to start popping 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. You're going to start seeing loads popping. You just look for which one you want and that pays the most, and you know you want to take. And mind you, there's not just you on this load board. There's you with a lot of other drivers on this load board. So if you see a load that pays good, you better be on it quick, because by the time you realize, another driver is going to be on it and take that load, especially if it's a good load. So it's not just you on this load, but it's you and other drivers. So you got to be smart, quick, fast, and calculate your profit, your deadhead, your miles, your gross, your gas expense, everything. You got to be on top of it. So that's just how it works. And that's how you do it for 6 months. You know, you got to thug it out. Once 6 months once 6 months come, you're basically sweet to go on the load board, book your own loads, and not have an issue of you getting denied for loads. Because I had a load go from Chicago to New Orleans. It was about 800 miles, and I took it for $800, and because the broker didn't want to give me different, he didn't want to. He's like, that's the most I can do, and I just said fuck it, and that's about $1 rate per mile, which is, it's not bad, but it's bad because it's 800 miles, right? So I took it and I went to New Orleans, and I was stuck in New Orleans for 3 days. When I got to New Orleans, it was around like 5 o'clock, so there was nobody. The next morning, I tried to book a load. Every broker that had a load denied me because my MC was not 6 months. I got denied for like 3, 4, 5 loads on the load board because my MC was too new and they didn't want to work with me. So I decided, I'm like, all right, you know what? From that day, I learned to just stay local. I'm in Pennsylvania, so I decided to just stay local in Pennsylvania, do local loads, and wait until my MC is 6 months or a year, and then go back over the road. 6 months is like the sweet spot, you know what I'm saying? And you should be good going back over the road with no problems. Booking your own loads, and once you start booking your own loads, you should start seeing good rates, like $1.5 rate, $2 rate on a good load, $1.3, and more. But with these third-party carriers, you're going to really be seeing like 90 cents, 80 cents, 70 cents per mile, because they will have you bid low and get those rates and say, oh, we can't do nothing. Or they're not going to give you a load, they're not going to work with you. I personally don't with third-party carriers. When I first started, I signed up with about 10. Now I only work with 1. I don't even work with the other 10 I work with. They call me, text me, I ignore their asses all day. I don't care. So yeah, you're gonna have to thug it out with them, because it's you and other people competing for loads, and since there's so much supply of drivers, the demand and the rates of the loads is very low. So they f***ed up the game, and the game is f***ed up. So you gotta figure out a strategy, a way to make money out here, and really thug it out and figure out how you want to do it. Now, what I decided to do is I just decided to separate myself from the rest. I decided to go get my HAZMAT endorsement and get my TWIC card, because with those additional certifications, you make more money, because not a lot of drivers have the HAZMAT or have the TWIC card or have other certifications. And since there's such a low demand for drivers that don't have those, or that have those or don't have those, the rate per mile pays way more and the demand is high. So for HAZMAT loads, like a regular load would pay you like $1,000 or $1,200 or $1,300 to go 1,000 miles, right? Or if you're lucky, they might pay you $1,400, depending on the load and the weight and everything. But a HAZMAT load or a TWIC card load will pay you double that rate. Like a TWIC card load might pay you $2,500 or $3,000 for 1,000 miles. A HAZMAT load will pay you like $5,000, $6,000 for like 1,000 miles. A reefer load, like a refrigerated unit load, would pay you double, like $2,000 or $3,000 for 1,000 miles. Regular loads will only pay you like $1,000, $1,200, $1,300. If you're lucky, $1,400 if lucky. But other certifications pay way more. So this is how you make way more money in a cargo van. Get your endorsements, get your certifications, get your TWIC card, get your HAZMAT, get your reefer, get your whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? This is how you make more money in the game, because not a lot of drivers in competition have that. And that separates you from the rest to make more money. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you make more money in a cargo van. Get you certifications, endorsements. And not a lot of drivers have that, but if you have those, you're going to be making a lot more money. Like, I decided to get my HAZMAT just to be on top of the game, and I decided to, I already got my TWIC card. I started my TWIC card, but yeah, you get those stuff, you're going to make a lot more money, and you're not going to be struggling as much and trying to get low bids online. You're not going to get cheap loads, because with the certifications and endorsements, they pay way more. They pay a lot more. And I'm going to do a vlog, a video on me doing like a HAZMAT load when I get my first load, so you guys see how it is. And you're going to make a lot more money doing that than trying to get these regular loads that don't pay shit. Like, I was kind of salty when I did the 800 load, 800 miles for $800, because that's a lot of driving. That was a 12-hour drive for $800. I don't know if that was worth it or not. I don't think it was worth it, but it was a lot of driving. I wasn't with it, but that's how it is, just having a cargo van with no certifications, no endorsement, just having the van alone. You're going to have a regular dollar rate per mile or under a dollar rate per mile, like 90 cents, 80 cents rates, which is bad. But with more additional certifications, you're going to make a lot more, and I think that's the way to go, because it separates you from the rest, because it's a big competition. Everybody wants to get a cargo van now. Everybody wants a Sprinter van now. Everybody's doing it in the game. It's easy. Just get approved and just get commercial insurance, and you're good. You're good to go. So the competition is high, but what separates you from the rest is getting all these extra certifications and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's just free game. That's just something I want to put out there on YouTube, because I don't think a lot of people talk about that. And not a lot of people mention that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to make money going over the road, but you're going to bust your ass. And these third-party carriers are going to take a lot of money from you. So while you get into that 6 months, do a lot of, like, gig apps. Use some third parties are good. Some of them are good, some of them are not. But gig apps is the way to go. That's what I'm doing until 6 months. So I just want to end the video like, you know what I'm saying? Get your endorsements. Get your HAZMAT. Get your TWIC card. Get your TSA. You know what I'm saying? Get these additional certifications, because they pay a lot more, and there's not so much demand. Not so much supply of these drivers with certifications. So the demand is high, the rate is high, it pays twice more. That's the way to make more money, you know what I'm saying, in the cargo van business. And while you're waiting for your MC to get to 6 months, stay local. Like me, what I'm doing, I'm staying local, doing local loads until my MC is 6 months, and I'm going back over the road. And I'm going back over the road with my HAZMAT and my other endorsements and all that. And I'm going to make a vlog on that. I don't know what's the process like, because I don't think anybody has a video on that, you know what I'm saying, I'll search and not too many people put it out there. But yeah, that's the way to make more money in a cargo van. I'd rather stay local. It depends where you're at too, staying local with these gig apps, because not every place is the same. I'm in Pennsylvania, it's pretty busy where I'm at. Ohio's pretty busy, Chicago's pretty busy. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you're at, gig apps might not work for you. It depends where you're at. There gotta be a lot of demand, but depending on where you're at, it works too. So do what works for you and do what's best for you, but be smart. And don't get taken advantage. Don't let these third parties take advantage of you, because they don't care. They just want to make their money and have you do the hard work. And they're sitting at their houses making money off of you. So this is your business. You're in your control. You're the driver. You control everything. You got to know how to run your business. So I just want to put it out there and give you this little short video. And yeah, do what you got to do and, you know, make your money. But this is how you make more money with a cargo van business. So good luck to everybody out there, and stay safe, drive safe, and get this money.